Today we're diving into a fascinating subject that's been on everyone's radar, the Dubai royal family. More specifically, we're going to talk about how Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed Al Maktoum's wife is challenging traditional gender roles and cultural norms within the royal setting. Sheikh Hamdan, often referred to as Fadza, is the Crown Prince of Dubai and a figure who's gained international fame for his luxurious lifestyle, philanthropy and more. However, there's another side of the story that's less talked about but incredibly compelling: the role his wife plays in this high-profile family. Why is this important? Well, in many royal families across the world, and particularly in the Middle East, women are expected to adhere to certain traditional roles. But times are changing, and today we're going to explore how Sheikh Hamdan's wife could be a part of that evolution. So, sit tight, and let's get started. Let's begin by setting the stage and talking about the traditional gender roles and cultural norms within royal families in the Middle East. Now, while each royal family has its unique characteristics, there are some overarching trends we can talk about. Women in these families have historically been the pillars of the household. They've been viewed as wives, mothers, and keepers of cultural and family traditions. Public roles for them have often been limited, and in some cases, they're even expected to keep a low profile and stay out of the public eye. This isn't just speculation, it's rooted in historical norms and cultural expectations. For example, Saudi Arabia only recently lifted its driving ban on women, which was a major milestone in changing these traditional roles. Such norms have consequences not just on the freedoms and opportunities available to royal women, but also how society views women more broadly. Keep in mind, we're not making a value judgment. We're merely observing the landscape that's been prevalent for years. While we know a lot about Sheikh Hamdan, the Crown Prince of Dubai, due to his public persona, there's very limited public information about his wife. Now, that itself is a talking point. The fact that she maintains a low profile could be seen as alignment with traditional norms, but let's not jump to conclusions. What we do know is that the United Arab Emirates, where Sheikh Hamdan is a key figure, has been taking steps to modernize its views on gender roles. For instance, the UAE has appointed women to key governmental roles, including ministers of state for advanced sciences and youth. The nation also recently updated its laws to further women's rights, including protection against harassment and discrimination in the workplace. So, given that broader societal changes are afoot, one could speculate, although this is purely speculative, that Sheikh Hamdan's wife may have opportunities to break from traditional norms that were not available to royal women in past generations. It's also worth noting that the younger generation of Emirati women are increasingly well-educated and taking on professional roles. Sheikh Hamdan himself has been a proponent of education and technological advancement in Dubai. So, could his wife be one of these modern career-oriented women? We don't know, but the evolving cultural landscape suggests that she has more choices than ever before. Moving on to public reaction, this is where things get incredibly interesting. The UAE is a nation that has been embracing modernity at a rapid pace, and with that comes a shift in public perception. However, the topic of gender roles, especially concerning royal families, remains a complex and nuanced issue. In recent years, we've seen a flood of online discussions around the empowerment of women in the UAE. The nation's efforts to modernize and promote gender equality have garnered both praise and criticism. On one hand, you have individuals applauding the changes as progressive steps forward. These people are excited to see women in ministerial roles, involved in STEM fields, and participating more actively in public life. The hashtags like #WomenEmpowermentUAE and #ProgressiveUAE often trend on social media platforms, showing significant support for these changes. On the other hand, there are those who argue that these changes are not enough or that they are merely symbolic. These voices often point out that despite the changes, many traditional norms still persist, especially within royal families. The sentiment here often aligns with hashtags like #more needs to be done or #symbolic changes. So in a speculative scenario where Sheikh Hamdan's wife does take on a more public, non-traditional role, she would likely become a flashpoint in these ongoing discussions, drawing reactions that range from full-fledged support to skepticism or even criticism. As we look ahead, it's worth pondering the potential impact that a modern, empowered wife of Sheikh Hamdan could have on the social and cultural fabric of the UAE, and, by extension, the Middle East. The role of women in society is a hot topic globally, and it gains an extra layer of complexity when it intersects with royalty and traditional norms. Firstly, if she were to take on a more public role that defies traditional expectations, it could inspire a whole new generation of young Emirati women. Seeing a woman in such a high-profile royal setting actively involved in social, cultural, or even political activities would send a strong message that women can aspire to more than just domestic roles. This could be a significant milestone for gender equality in the region. Secondly, such a move could be a diplomatic asset for the UAE, which is keen to project itself as a progressive modern nation. With Expo 2020 Dubai and other international platforms, the UAE is increasingly under the global spotlight. Having strong, empowered women in visible roles could enhance the country's reputation considerably. However, it's also essential to acknowledge the risks. Challenging deep-seated cultural norms is a delicate task and can sometimes lead to social unrest or polarized opinions. But then again, no significant change ever comes without its set of challenges. To sum it up, the impact of Sheikh Hamdan's wife stepping into a non-traditional role could be far-reaching, affecting not just the royal family, but the nation as a whole. In wrapping up today's discussion, it's clear that the subject of gender roles and cultural norms within royal families, particularly in the Middle East, is a complex and ever-evolving topic. While we don't have specific information about Sheikh Hamdan's wife, the broader trends in the UAE, such as the appointment of women to governmental roles and updated laws to protect women's rights, indicate that the nation is slowly but steadily moving toward gender equality. The public reaction to these changes has been mixed, highlighting how complex the process of social evolution can be. Yet, there's no denying that any move by a figure as high-profile as the wife of the Crown Prince of Dubai to break traditional norms could be a watershed moment for the region. Why does this matter? Because it sets a precedent. It sends a message to younger generations about what's possible, irrespective of gender. It also impacts how the UAE and the Middle East are perceived on the world stage, and most importantly, it contributes to a larger global conversation about gender equality and women's roles in society, which is a dialogue we all need to be a part of. So while we may not have specific details about the wife of Sheikh Hamdan, examining the societal norms and potential for change provides us with valuable insights into a culture in transition. And who knows, maybe in the near future we'll have concrete examples that signify a marked shift in these traditional norms. Thank you for joining us today. If you found this topic as intriguing as we did, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful discussions. We'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.